Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kino with STEMwithKino.com, and I'm kind of, off. I know that I'm off to shifted a little bit if you are following me on Facebook Live. And basically, today is our thing that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing live sessions for people that have problems preparing for certain questions with the aviation selection test battery. So if you are not if you're not following me on Facebook Live, I'm also on YouTube as well, but the focal point here is the Facebook Live session. And if you are following me on YouTube, you can come on over and drop questions. Now, if you are a student of mine already, you can drop your questions on our one-on-one Skype sessions. And so you guys can just go on in. And now for my people on YouTube, I'm dropping a link now. On the chat. And you guys can meet me over there. I've just dropped. And see, somebody says, thanks for the work helping people. And I appreciate that. That's why I'm here. I have, and let me just give you, if you're new to my channel, I'll give you that in a minute, James. Let me see. I think I can, probably going to need to make this 2 windows. This is my first time actually doing this on Facebook Live, guys, so please be patient with me. Let's see. All right, there we go. And I'll pull this window down. Boom. And minimize that so I can see both the YouTube and the so I can see the YouTube and I can see the okay, so I have both of my windows up. Okay, so we're going to be doing this every week, and I may make adjustments, so follow me on Facebook, and I've dropped the link for Facebook. And if you guys have somebody, my keyboard. All right. If you guys have a friend in your squadron, in your ROTC squadron, that might be interested in that, you can just copy and paste that link, and you can, send it to them. Okay, so we're going to be doing this every week, and basically the Fridays will be for the aviation selection test battery and the officer's aptitude rating. Now, if you are seeking to be a pilot or navigator in the United States Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, you're going to have to take the full aviation selection test battery. That consists of aviation and nautical information, mechanical comprehension, math, and reading comprehension. And basically, that's it in a nutshell. Now, on Saturdays, I'm going to be dedicating the live streams to people that are in the United States Army, warrant officer, and commissioned officer that are trying to get into aviation. That will be on Saturdays, I think 2 o'clock. So that will be, and I'm probably going to be posting on both channels as well. So let's dig in. Okay, so again, like I told you, you could drop, if you want to drop, what am I going to say? If you want to drop questions that you're having issues with, you could type them in however you want to do it. If you do type questions, please provide the multiple choice answers, because there's techniques and ways that I teach my people how to weed out how to weed out the bad questions. So, first off, where's everybody checking in from? James, I see you. Oh, hi, I guess I thought you were just saying hi. Thanks for the word. Hi. Oh, okay, so hi. Also, your location and the test that you're preparing for, be it the aviation selection test battery or the officer aptitude rating. You can check it in on Facebook or whatever, but yeah, I'd like to see that. And if you guys are having any problems, maybe you might want to be like, okay, well, I hate fractions. I can't, I hate fractions, or I hate mixture problems, or I hate square roots or exponents or word problems. This is what I'm going to be here for you guys every week. So that's what these live streams are for. Um, and if you're on YouTube, please hit the like button, share on your social media networks. In addition to that, if you would like to support the channel, there's a channel support link I'll actually drop in both sides and stuff. If this was helpful to you and you'd like to help support the channel, you can do that as well. Okay, so one of my Skype people, they actually dropped a question, and is a mixture problem. Now, a mixture problem is a situation where, let me see if I can even. I'm going to copy. And see if I can slide down. Nope, that didn't do it. Okay, so I'll verbally just tell you what the question is. It's a mixture problem, all right? And the mixture problem goes as follows. How many ounces of a 75% acid solution must be mixed with 16 ounces of a 30% acid solution produce a 50% acid solution? Now, this is kind of like a non-standard question. I'm saying it's not standard because normally they give you the amount percentage of the two amounts. So amount percentage of one container, then the amount and percentage of a second container. And then they ask you, well, what is the percentage of this new mixture? All right. And so the way I teach it is I draw containers like this. So I'll draw one container plus a second container, and then we'll say that equals a third container. And then these containers up top is going to be the amount, and down on the bottom is going to be the percentage. So they're saying, how many ounces of a 75% acid solution? That is not given, so that is the unknown. But we do know that it is 75%. So the amount goes up top, the percentage goes down there. And this is just like a visual aid to kind of get you to look at, okay, well, this container plus this container is going to equal the final container. Now, they tell us that we have 16 ounces of a 30% solution, so our answer is going to be in ounces. And let's see, 16 ounces in the second container, and there is a 30% solution. All right. Finally, after we mix the two solutions, we're going to have a 50% acid solution. So I'm going to do this in another color, blue. Okay, so basically it is this times this plus this times this equaling the sum of the two containers. Okay, so here we go. X times 75 plus 16 times 30 is equal to 50 times the sum of the two containers. So we have X plus 16. All right. Now, our answers are 12.8 ounces, 13.2 ounces, 13.6 ounces, 14 ounces, and 14.4 ounces. Okay, so this times this plus this times this equals the new concentration. So that's how your equation is going to pan out. All right, so you guys can rewind this and go back if you like. but I show you that visual aid just for the setup. So to make it algebraically friendly, we should have 75x plus 16 times 30 equaling 5, or 50 times x plus 16. Now, the first thing we are going to need to do is we're going to multiply 16 times 30. Now, me personally, I wouldn't multiply 16 times 30. I would actually multiply 16 times 3 and then add the 0 later, because it's much easier to do this than this. So 3 times 6 is 18. We dropped 8, carried a 1. So 448, but 480, because this is the true problem. So a lot of times this shaves time. When you take the test, the clock is going to be running out on you. So wherever you can shave time, you want to do that. 480. All right, so 75x plus 480, and we're going to distribute 50x. So we'll just drop down the line. 75x plus 480 equals 50x. We need to distribute plus, put a minus, so plus. Again, 16 times 50. I would not multiply 16 times 50. I would multiply 16 times 5 and then add the 0 later. 3, 800. Okay, so you see how that just comes out a whole lot quicker. All right. Now, there was supposed to be an x there because 50 times x. All right, so I call this the variable strong side because 75 is bigger than 50. So 50 will go to this side. So we will have 75x minus 50x. And then 480 is going to go to the other side. So it'll be 800 minus 480. 75x minus 50x is 25x. And 480 is going to be subtracted from 800. Now, I don't think of this as 480. It's much easier to like subtract whole numbers, right? So just say, for instance, we didn't subtract 480. We were going to subtract 500. Now it's easy to subtract 800 minus 500. 800 minus 500 is 300, but we've gone 20 too far. So I'll subtract 300 and then add 20. That will be the same as deducting 480. So 800 minus 500 is 300, add 20, and we should get 520. No, not 520. What am I? 320, sorry. Sometimes I go a little fast. 800 minus 500 is 300 plus 20, 320. Okay. So now we're going to divide 320 by 25, and we're going to get a decimal answer. So again, our answer selections were 12.8, 13.2, 13.6, 14, and 14.4. So we could immediately throw delta away. That is not going to be our answer. Let's continue. Decimal 0. 25 can't go into 3, can't go into 32, but it can go into 32 one time. Okay, they all have ones in front of them before the digit in tens place in there. So 2, 5, 5, 7, 0. All right. After we do the subtraction, 32 minus 25 is 7. The 0 drops. 25 goes into 70 how many times? 2 times. So I see 12. Once I get to 12 point something, there is only one answer in there. It's A, 12.8. I would stop right there and move on to the next question. So 12.8A is the answer. Now, you could take it all the way out to 12.8 if you like, but if I'm taking a time test in mathematics, if I know I did my process right, I know 12 point something is going to be my answer. But we'll take it out to 12.8. We'll get 50. We'll get a 20 and a 0 drops. And 25 goes into 200. 8 times. So 12.8 was the answer. But you could see you don't always have to solve these questions all the way out to completion based on your multiple choice answers. All right. Let me check in, see if anybody dropped another question. All right. And what I meant to do when I did that was, all right, just give me a second, guys. All right, yeah. Copy, and we'll drop. We'll close you and paste. Okay, so yeah, if you'd like to support the video, there is, or support our channel, you can click that link there, stemwithkeno.com/videos, if you like to support our video production. It takes time and energy to do this. You don't have to. I'm still going to be here every week. But if you'd like to drop something in the can, that'd be great. If not, don't worry about it. All right. So, okay. I have to improve there too, James. Not sure. Okay. All right. There is a flight stick. And there's a game. All right. And give me a second. And this is why we're here, guys. This is why we're here. Stephanie Grant. Okay, I'm not sure if she's in the live section, but Stephanie, thanks for liking stemwithkeno.com. Let's see here. Okay. Trying to read all the comments here. Okay, I think there was somebody that made a program that emulated the stick and throttle part of the aviation selection test battery. Okay, there was a stick that one of my clients told me that they used, but there's actually a game, War Thunder, and by the next stream next week, next Friday, I'll have that information. I remember one of my guys talking to me about it, and they came across it. Airwarriors.com is a great site where you can get information about the aviation selection test battery. And I'm saying aviation selection test battery, but that also includes the OAR. The OAR is like a separate portion of the aviation selection test battery. So yeah, guys, just either drop, if you guys are already connected with me via Skype, you can drop questions. And some have dropped. And let's check into them. Okay. Okay, here's a good one. Actually, two good ones. All right. A lot of people really don't understand how to, when there's a percentage discount or a percentage addition to things. And I'm actually, if you go to stemwithkeno.com on Facebook and look at my timeline, guys can actually see the questions that we do or that we're working on. So there's two. All right, and these are good questions. All right. Okay. And Anthony, what you can do is you can just drop your questions through Skype. Somebody else did it because we're already connected. All right. Didn't mean to hit that. Okay, that's what I meant to hit. Okay, so I'll also put the link so you guys can see the questions. All right, and I'm sharing the post now on my Facebook page. These are questions 16 and 17, so you should be able to see the questions and the multiple choice answers. So let's jump in. All right. Okay, if you are over on Facebook, you should be able to see the questions. If you're still on YouTube, and I recommend you guys coming over, I dropped the link if you're on YouTube so you can actually see the questions posted. Because this is how, we're going to be dropping these problems. This is like my first, I don't think it's my first live. I did one a long time ago, but I want to do these on a weekly, regular basis. And I need to check something else too, because I just saw. Okay, these are just mere notifications. I just want to make sure I don't lose anybody's questions. Okay. Bang, bang, bang. Okay, all right. All right. Okay, so back to the questions. Okay. A lot of people don't understand marking up and marking down prices, so I'm going to give you guys the formula. Okay, so a typewriter was listed at $120. Okay, so that was the original price, but it was bought for $96. What was the rate of discount? Now there's a formula. The formula is the amount of change in price divided by the original price. And then you're home free when you get that, because all you got to do is multiply by 100, and that will give you the percentage. So we bought this thing at 120 bucks. Well, it was listed at 120, but we bought it for $96. So you have to first calculate the change, the increase or the decrease, because the formula is the amount of change, and I will put a CHG to abbreviate it, divided by the original price times 100. Okay, so if we look at this, it was 120, now it's 96. Now for a rapid math technique, the difference between 20 and 100 is 20. The difference between 96 and 100 is 4. So we knew we lost $20 and then an additional 4. All right, so $24 is the actual amount of change, divided by the original price, which is 120, and that times 100. Now, one thing that you're going to have to get used to, and it is not going away, is long division. You're not going to be able to use a calculator, and so you're going to have to be able to do long division effectively. So we'll come here. I'll put my 120 on the outside and my 24.00 there. 120 cannot go into 2. 120 can't go into 24. 120 can go into 240 2 times. So 120 times 2 is 240, and that completes it. 0. Now, to go from the decimal to a percentage, the decimal must move 2 places to the right. So it was a 20% discount, and that's option B, or answer B. Okay, throat's dry. Gotta stay hydrated. Okay. Feels better, okay. So In this particular one in 17, there's actually a way you can get to the end of this answer. The multiple choice questions, as you glance at them, 198, 165, 132, 99, and 66, they're spaced pretty far apart. So in that case, when that happens, here's a little trick. I'm not going to deal with 198. I'm going to deal with 200. And I'm only 2 units off, or 2 recruits off. All right, and then I'm going to work with that. All right, so a class of 198 recruits consists of 3 racial and ethnic groups. If 1/3 are black and 1/4 of the remainder are Hispanic, how many of the recruits in the class are white? So 1/3 are black. After we deduct the 1/3 black people or African Americans, 1/4 are Hispanic. And after we deduct those 2 sets, then the rest of the recruits are white. All right. So, like I said, I'm not going to deal with 198. I'm going to deal with 200. It's an easier number to work with, and you're not going to be too far away from your answers. And if your answer selections are spaced far apart, you just go with the closest one. And that's the best way to do it. So 1/3 are black. So 200 is R, and we multiply that times 1/3. 200 times 1 is 200, and 1 times 3 is 3. All right. If we divide 200 by 3, we will get 6, 18, 3. All right. And let me just throw it out because you guys may. 200, 0. Okay, so 3 goes into 2, 0 times 21, 26 times. We get 18. We subtract, we get another 20. 6 takes us to the decimal. So I'm just going to say 66 of these, and I'm just put AA for African American. Now we got to find out the Hispanic recruits. Okay, so 200 minus 66 will give us 134. So we want 1/4 of this because we said 1/4 of the remainder are Hispanic. So 1/4 of the remainder. Now we divide this by 4. 3, 12, 1, 4, and we'll say 3. All right. So 33 are Hispanic. Okay, which this is 99. So 99 minus 200 is actually 101. Now we did make an adjustment because we did not use 198, we used 200. If we had 198, it would just be a whole lot of crazy math. But 101 is closest to delta, which is 99. All right, so you want to just kind of guesstimate, and that will get you to your answer. And if everybody's getting this and this is clear and you guys can hear me well, please type in either chat, yes, understood. If you don't understand, just type something if you don't understand. If you do understand and you're good to go, just hit 1 in the chat. And I know there's a time delay. So. And if you guys have recruiters, hey, let your recruiters know about this channel, what we're doing every week. All right, Darren understands. Very good. All right, he came to the Facebook chat. All right. So I'm assuming that everybody got what I was saying, and so. I'm dropping another question. On the Facebook chat at stemwithkino.com. And we will jump in this in a moment here. All right. And it's going to take me a little bit to get acclimated with this. It doesn't take much because I do this type of stuff all the time. So, here's the question dropping now on the STEMwithKeno.com timeline, so you actually can physically see the problems. Okay. All right. A $75 fund is available for a holiday party. If 75% of the available money is spent for food and beverages, how much is left for other expenses? Okay. A lot of people have problems with percentage problems, and they're really, really not that bad once you know how to do them. All right. But these are word problems. So with word problems, there's a phrase that I use. You read every line and you diagram. So I say line by line and diagram. That's what I say to all my guys that I prepare for these exams. All right. All right. So we have $75 available for a party. 75% of the available money is spent for food and beverages, and how much is left? There's a couple ways that we could do this. You could take your $75 or 75 over 1, and you can multiply it by 3/4. But I don't recommend that. I just say 75 times 0.75. All right, and that will yield how much is being used so far. Or what you could do is you could multiply 75 times 0.25. That's even better, because if 75% of the funds are used for food and beverages, 25% is going to be left. So this is actually the better way. Multiply 75 times 0.25, and that will yield how much is left. 5 times 5 is 25, carry 2, 37. And if we double 75, that is 150. Note we have 2 decimal places to account for. 5, 7, 8, 1. Boom. $18.75, answer A. Another thing I would like you guys to pay attention to is that if you can, your targeted time for completing these problems, if you can get these things somewhere around 60 seconds, you're gonna nail a lot of questions. So like I teach all my clients, I'm like, look, try to do this in 60 seconds. It's not always gonna happen, but if that is your target, that is your goal, you want to touch as many questions as possible. Okay, you do not want the clock to run out on you. That would be bad. All right, so that's what you want to avoid. So as you guys are training by yourselves, doing your own personal research and all that and everything, what I recommend is as you doing your problems, when you're going through your test prep books, try to get your math problems done in 60 seconds. If you take a minute and a half, 2 minutes, I would try not to be doing in 2 minutes, because you're probably going to run out of time. All right, some problems you're going to solve a little bit quicker than others. So if you can nail them under 60 seconds, that allots more time for other questions. Now, if everybody understands that last question we did, just hit 1 in the chat or understood. If you did not understand what happened, then hit 2. So 1 understood, 2 I didn't understand. And to get the most out of these live streams, you want to have questions ready. For you guys that are not connected with me, when we come here every week, you can just send a message to the STEMwithKeno.com channel. I think there's even a way to post on the timeline, but that's something you guys have to figure out. All my clients and stuff like that, they have, my our one-on-one chats that we do when we do our training through Skype. If you're interested in, hiring a tutor, it doesn't have to be me. I get enough work. I say this all the time. But I'll say this, most people are not prepared for this test. Now, recruiters are going to be mad at me for this. I meet a lot of people that tell me, my recruiter said, just take it, see how you do. I don't recommend that at all. I don't recommend it, okay? Because you go and you'll take the test, you don't get the desired score, which if you break 50, that's competitive if you can break 50. You don't get the desired score, and then you got to prepare for it all over again. So even if it's not me, find someone that specializes in this test and somebody with a proven track record of helping people pass the exam. That's just another recommendation. All right. I hate to say it, but I struggle more on the really simple math when I took the ASTB my first time around. Some of the mechanical advantage questions threw me off as well. Well, Weston, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name properly. Just type in what kind of mechanical comprehension issues were you having. Was it leverage problems? Was it Sir Isaac Newton's 3 laws of motion? Because a lot of people don't know, they think it's just mechanical stuff, but the United States Army SIFT for helicopter pilots and the Aviation Selection Test Battery has gone into physics. They start talking about physics concepts. The area of physics is kinematics. Kinematics is the area of physics that these tests have started to concentrate on. So it's not just gear questions and leverage questions, and you know what I'm saying. And I say find a qualified tutor because you can't just read these books and think like, oh, I bought 3 books, I'm good to go. I've met many a person that said, hey, Ken, I bought like 5 books and I got a 37. That's it's sad, but I talk to people like this all the time. I bought 5 books. It's not just about the books. Number one, it's about test taking procedures and how most people don't understand how to take an exam, especially when it's timed. That's where the tutor or teacher comes in. Okay. I drill my guys, and it's one-on-one. Sometimes we get in groups, but I drill my guys. It's one-on-one. Sometimes we get in groups when they have gotten to a certain level, because I don't want to drag the team down. But when I get my guys to a certain level, sometimes I'll get us in group sessions, and I talk to them about how to take a test. Okay. Like, I'll give you one tip. If you're spending 5-6 minutes on one question, you're probably not gonna do well. I won't say you're not gonna do well, but you're probably not gonna do well. All right, because let's say there's typically, you're gonna get 25 to 30 questions. You wanna see all these questions. So let's say I took 5 minutes on the first 5 questions. If I took 5 minutes per question, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I got 30, that's 5 minutes per question. I'm only going to get 6 out of 25 or 6. I'm only going to answer them. And if I take 6 and I was going to get 30 for that test, I have a whole 24 questions I haven't answered. So that's what I'm talking about, test taking strategy, because if you took 5 minutes per question and you really concentrated and you did all 5 of these questions, you've only answered 6 questions, okay? And your score is not going to pan out well. I talk to people all the time about this. So they don't understand test taking strategy. And Weston, if you want to drum up a question, or you could type it in, or an issue about mechanical comprehension, I'll be more than happy Simon as well, if you have any questions about aviation, I'm assuming you want to be a naval aviator or naval flight officer, just drop questions. And even if you can't find them until next time, next Friday, as you're going through your test prep books, I feel like I'll take longer than 2 minutes on a question. I'll move on. Yeah, but yeah, answer it. Make sure you just answer something, because if it's 3 questions in your multiple choice, you have a 33% chance of getting it right. All right. All right, and thanks for the comment as well. Matt says he feels like if he takes more than 2 minutes, yeah, 2 minutes is, you're going to answer some questions less than 2 minutes, but you definitely don't want to be 5 minutes on a question. You'll be toast, and you will not get the score you like. All right. All right. Kinetic energy and potential energy. This is one of the subjects that is in the test pool. Okay, it's in the test pool. You have to understand that the computer has a whole pool of questions, and it's a reactive test. The test will select the next question based on how you answer the first question. All right, and so it'll just pull questions out of this pool and drop them on the screen. Now, kinetic and potential energy. Total energy is comprised of kinetic and potential energy. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just changes forms. Now, there's multiple forms that I'll talk about of energy, but primarily the ones that we're concerned with in kinematics are kinetic and potential energy. So I would actually do my research and my due diligence and understand what total energy is. Total energy is comprised of, and I'll put E total and EKE, that's kinetic energy, plus EPE, potential energy. Kinetic energy is energy associated with motion. When we calculate kinetic energy, its result, or the units we use, are called joules. Not joules like you wear around your neck, but joules. Joules. All right. And I see your question, and I'm going to get to that next. Weston, I see you, brother. So, energy flows back and forth between kinetic and potential energy. Let's say we had 100 joules of energy. All right. And we're thinking in terms of the kinetic and potential energy relationship. I'm trying to think 10. Let's say that our total energy was 50 joules. All right. If we had something on a cliff, like a boulder, and we were about to push it off, all right. At this point, initially there is no motion. So we have 0 kinetic energy, and we have 100 joules of potential energy. Potential energy is associated with height. When it got down halfway to the halfway mark, we're losing potential energy, but we're gaining our motion or kinetic energy. So at the midway point, we would have 50 joules of kinetic energy and then 50 joules of potential energy. And then when it got down to the bottom and stopped, we would have, well, right before it stops, right before it hits the ground, right before, we'd have 100 joules of kinetic energy and then 0 joules of potential energy. So you have to understand the kinetic energy, potential energy relationship. All right. And Okay, hold on. I just got a comment. Let's see. All right. Okay, I see you, Stephanie. Thanks for chiming in with us. And okay, Sade, I didn't even see you. All right. I want to make sure I know everybody, man, for real. So we're going to be doing this thing every week. And what you guys need to do is you get your test prep books, go through them throughout the week before the live stream. Open it up, go through them, mark what you don't understand, put a mark by it, or put Ask Keno next to it. Okay? I will address the question. All right? So this is the first one. So don't feel like, oh, I came in late. He's never going to do it again. No, I'll be back next week. Okay, but bring questions. Because that's what this is all about. This is a great synergy. Some people will ask questions that you may not even thought to bring up. Okay, and we'll address this. Please follow me on Facebook or on YouTube. And please like STEMwithKeno.com if you are following me on Facebook. All right. Okay, so Weston Force, certain amount of weight, 90 pounds, given a pulley system, 3 pulley systems. Topics of that confuse you. Okay. When we talk about pulley systems, okay, what we have to do is we have to determine the mechanical advantage. Mechanical advantage is what results from a simple machine. When we talk about simple machines, a simple machine helps take our power or effort that we input and we multiply it. Let me give you an example. A wheelchair ramp. Did you know that a wheelchair ramp was a simple machine? All right, think about back in the day with hospitals. Let's just say this hospital had stairs, right? And this hospital stairway was 3 meters. If I had a 100-kilogram child, hold on. I'm sorry, people are hitting me up. Copy. Okay. All right. Okay, so back in the day, if I had a 100-kilogram child, I had to carry that 100-kilogram child up the steps. So a wheelchair ramp, let's say that this wheelchair ramp was 10 meters long. All right. To find a mechanical advantage, 30 meters is what I meant to say. 30 meters divided by 3 gives us a mechanical advantage of 10. All right. So having a mechanical advantage of 10 means that whatever force I'm going to put into pushing this child in the wheelchair is going to be multiplied by 10. All right. So I don't have to lift the full 10 kilograms of weight. It would simply be like in this case. Let's give us a bigger example. We had a 300-pound person. You want to lift him up these stairs, or you want to have a mechanical advantage of 10, and when he's in his wheelchair, you only need 30 pounds of force to push him and roll him up the wheelchair. What would you rather push him in the wheelchair? So just a simple ramp is a simple machine that gives us mechanical advantage, and it helps increase the effort that we put in. All right. Okay. All right. Let me see. Pulley systems. I was going to talk about pulley systems. All right. With a pulley system, you typically have an even number of pulley systems, and this would be on the mechanical comprehension portion. of the test. And when we talk about pulley systems, let's say, and typically there would be an even number of pulleys. So let's say we had a pulley up top and a pulley there and a pulley there and a pulley here on the bottom. And then you'd have the hook. Now, Weston says that our weight is 90 pounds. So we have a 90-pound weight. This pulley system is a simple machine. Okay, so you would have a chain or rope, and the chain would wind around like this, like this, like this, and then wrap in. Okay. So what I have is something called a horizontal line test. You don't count the chain or rope that's being pulled. You count, I say, a horizontal line test. So I'll take the horizontal line and I'll draw through. We don't count that one. So it's contacting that 1, 2, 3, 4 points. That is our mechanical advantage. All right. So we don't need to use 90 pounds of pull to raise this 90-pound object. Our mechanical advantage is 4. 90 will be divided by 4, 2, 8, 1, 0. 2 again. 8, 2, 0. And it'd be 22, basically 22 point something. So 22 pounds of effort. Again, the simple machine takes our effort and it multiplies the force of our effort. So our mechanical advantage of 4, horizontal line test, in between the pulleys, touches 1, 2, 3, 4 ropes or chains. So we don't need 90 pounds of effort to pull down in order to raise this. We only need 22. Okay. So I am going to, it's like another 4 minutes, okay? And these are going to be limited to an hour every week. And that's why it's important to really get get your questions in. Moto Matt, if you check in next week, we will definitely talk about any additional questions you have. If everybody understood what I just talked about with the mechanical advantage, be it the wheelchair ramp or the pulley system, just hit 1 or type in understood if you've understood. Okay. So all my guys that actually train with me, this is just some extra time. You guys need to get your hands on, and I tell you guys this all the time, you need to get your hands on as much math as possible. And that's for the guys that don't even train with me. So I want to just give some personal shout outs. Now, the last link I left, it's not required. You guys don't have to be like, oh, you don't pay for this or whatever. But if you'd like to support the channel, not my clients, you guys, I already deal with you guys. But if you guys want to support the channel, I'd appreciate it. If you can't do it, that's fine. But the link is there if you would like to support the channel. It'll take you to the channel support page. New faces, Sade, I'd like to thank you for showing up. Stephanie Grant, thank you as well for showing up. James Volkemer, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Weston, I'm just going to do the first names. Weston, thank you. Haven't seen you before. Moto Matt, haven't seen you before either. All right, guys, so we're here. We're going to be here every week. If you guys have questions pertaining to the aviation selection test battery or the officer aptitude rating, please, 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 just come up. All you got to do is show up, drop questions. All right, that's all you have to do. If you guys need a tutor, hit me up in the inbox. If you need a tutor, and most people need a tutor, sad to say. I've been preparing people for this exam for over 10 years, even when it was on paper version. And I've only met 3 people in the span of 10 years that were actually prepared for this test, where I sat down with them and I said, all right, well, you know about this? Yeah, I know about this. You know about this? Yeah, you know about this. Can you solve this? Can you solve this problem? Yeah, I can solve this. What's Sir Isaac Newton's 3 laws of motion? Boom, they just spit it out. Okay, tell me about the work formula. Tell me about the power formula. Spit it out. And we went through a whole hour, and I was just like, dude, you don't need me. 3 people in over 10 years. So, like I said, just find somebody that is competent to prepare you for this test. If, I don't know, has anybody in the room taken this test before and actually bought a couple books and got the desired outcome they wanted? Just hit 1 if it's true, 2 if it's not. Or you can just inbox me and tell me, but I already know. I've been preparing people for this test for over 10 years. I already know the answer, most people will not get the desired outcome that they want. And I would not want to take this test more than 1 time. I'd rather nail it the first time and move on, but that is up to you guys. So it is 6 o'clock, and this is going to terminate our aviation selection test battery and officer aptitude rating for the United States Coast Guard, United States Marine Corps, and United States Navy. I thank you guys for all showing up. And I appreciate the comments. Again, tell your recruiters about this channel. I have no problem with, hey man, it's this guy on YouTube or it's this guy on Facebook. STEMwithKino.com, this guy, So, everybody can get help, So that's it. Please like my page on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. And there's a plethora of YouTube videos to help you guys out on YouTube. If you type my first name in, my last name will automatically pop up because I'm a YouTube partner. So thanks for watching. Everybody be safe out there. And I will be back next week. Hope everybody had a great time. I'm Kino with STEMwithKino.com. Over and out. Bye.